Welcome back to Man Now Sports. As you can see from the thumbnail, Mark Cuban went and did an interview with Gil's Arena and Josiah, who's their moderator, their host. And there was a lot said in that interview, but I kind of want to touch on something specific he said and something specific that he addressed. And it was basically something I already did a show on. I did a show on the CBS Top 25 in the 21st century. They did the top 25 NBA players during the 21st century. And that was controversial because they had people on the list way too high, who played minimum amount of years in the 21st century so far. And then just had some players way too low. To name a few, they had Jokic like number 4 or number 5. I think the list was LeBron 1. They might have had, the list was so horrible. LeBron 1, Steph 2, Duncan 3, Jokic 4, and Shaq 5, and Kobe 6. And it had Dirk number 10. I think that's how the list was, if I remember it. What's good, Michael? But yeah, and as you come in, make sure you hit the like button and, surprise late show on a holiday on a what's the day? Was it Labor Day? Whatever holiday it is, you know what I mean? I take the day off, but was super busy all day long. Got invited to a couple of cookouts and stuff like that. So I was out most of the day. And as soon as I came in, I was like, man, I do want to get an episode in before tomorrow or before the work week starts. So here we are. Make sure you hit the like button as you come in. Hit the share button as you come in. Leave a comment as soon as you come in so I can know who in the house. The Mitchell Show, what's good, brother? What's good, Fancy? How you doing, Fancy? SWAT, what's got some people in the house. But so the CBS list was out of whack. And, I already kind of mentioned how those things are out of whack for, on purpose. It's just orchestrated rage baiting, orchestrated chaos, just to stir up some, I guess, emotion and some conversation. So we take it with a grain of salt. We don't take it that serious. But the issue is when they put lists out like that, you get some people who will take a list like that and be like, aha, I told you LeBron is this and that, right? And people really just don't en masse think of LeBron in that light. The way his fans and the way his media affiliates want you to think about him, it's just not giving it. Like, it's not a lot of people who's really thinking LeBron is up there. But nonetheless, Mark Cuban came in and gave his attempt at the top 10. I think he stopped at number 6. And he didn't get to 10, but he named the 6 that he thought. So let's go ahead and play that exchange between Josiah and Gears Arena with Mark Cuban as they interviewed him. But toward the end, there's something else he said that we're going to discuss as well.
Recently, CBS Sports released a top 25 players of the 21st century list. They had Dirk ranked 10th on that list. I don't know, other than Dirk, you had a front row seat to see all the guys who were on that top 25 list. In your opinion, who is the best NBA player in the 21st century?
The 2000s.
All the way to
2001
all the way to
the 20.
Okay, so there's Agent Zero.
The whole century.
And then,
Yeah, I wish.
I'd have to go with Kobe, Shaq, McGrady, Duncan, Dirk, Garnett, and then you can put any of 15 different guys, right?
I noticed you didn't say LeBron. I'm a LeBron guy.
Yeah, I know LeBron definitely should fit in there too. Yeah, I got no problem with that.
We have a clutch thing.
No, I'm a LeBron fan, right? I'm a LeBron fan, and even like the MJ versus LeBron, they're two completely different players, right? You can't even really compare them. If you have a good team and you need a killer, you go MJ.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a team that's good and you want them to be better, right? And as the team get to the finals, you go LeBron. Okay. Yeah, MJ is not going to lift up a bad team. LeBron can.
Yeah. And people don't gauge stuff.
Yeah, like who would I rather have the last shot? MJ.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to help your team get better? LeBron.
All right. So it's three things that we want to touch on. One of them made sense. Two of them was just asinine. The first thing is they're asking him, you've seen the CBS list, right? They had Dirk at number 10, and like from your perspective as an owner of someone who owned the team all of the 21st century, you've had players come in your arena. You've seen players play. I mean, he's seen Kobe's 62 points in 3 quarters and outscored the Mavs. He's seen that, right? He knows what players gave him problems. He knows, how players was game planned against in the playoffs for players like Kobe. And he knows how players game or how Dallas game planned against LeBron when they played against him. LeBron had his worst series against Dallas in the finals. Like, he's got a unique seat and a unique perspective for that question. And when he gave it some thought, he came out with number 1, Kobe, hands down. Number 2, Shaq, hands down. He named T-Mac. He named Garnett. He named Duncan. He named Dirk. I think that was the 6 he named. And a lot of times, I just throw this out here and mention that people forget to mention Carmelo, and I think they should. And I think Dwight should be mentioned as well. But after he gave that list, I mean, it's a list that make way more sense than what CBS did. Like Mark Cuban's list made way more sense. Kobe, Shaq, number 1, like of course. Like Shaq got 2 rings in this century. Kobe got 3. No, two with Gasol and 2 with Shaq. He got 4. So he got 4. Shaq got 3 in it. And, and of course Duncan was getting rings. And like I just don't understand how CBS would have Jokic, Luka in the list and Steph and LeBron 1 and 2. That is insane. And Mark Cuban didn't even mention LeBron and Steph. And leaving LeBron out, Joe Sal had to say, well, I noticed you didn't mention LeBron. He's my guy. And then he also said, we kind of got something in the works with Clutch. And then Gil started kind of giggling and laughing. I'm like, y'all boys are crazy, man. Like, yeah, you got something in the works with Clutch. What they got to do with your guess, given his list of who he thought was the top players in the 21st century. I don't understand what your dealings with Clutch got to do with that, unless part of your relationship with Clutch Sports is that you would never say anything bad about LeBron, and you would always keep him, in high regards when it comes to things of this nature, and you won't let people come on here and put him somewhere where Clutch don't have him. Right? You got to give pushback. You have to give pushback, or you have to help facilitate that person that's on your platform to say something good about LeBron. And so, after Cuban was prompt with that, he had to say something good about LeBron. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm a fan of LeBron. I have no problem with LeBron being fitted somewhere in that top 10. Yeah, after I gave my 6, but yeah, somewhere in that, the rest of it, yeah, I have no problem with LeBron being fitted in there somewhere. And then he went to glazing. And then with the LeBron and Jordan thing, of course, Jordan, if you want a killer, you want Jordan. What does that mean? If you want a killer, you want Jordan. When the hell do you not want one? On a battlefield, when do you not want one? When do you not want a Jeffrey Dahmer? Like when you're on the battlefield, and that's what sports is. It's a competition. It's a battle. You on a battlefield. Right? When do you not want a killer? Yeah, if you want a killer, you go with Kobe and Jordan all day long. But if you want something else, you go with LeBron. If I want something else, why don't I go with Vin Baker? If you want a killer, you go with Mike. But if you want something else, you go with LeBron. Like somebody explain that to me. So when do you not want a killer? Like somebody give me the example of when you don't want a killer. You building a team and you be like, well, I don't want to kill in this situation. Give me something else. Give me another type of guy. Forget the killer. Give me another type of guy. The type of guy that when he gets on the court with the killer is hunting them. He's backing down from challenges in the All-Star game against him. He's saying one-on-one don't matter. I'm not playing nobody one-on-one at the Olympic practices. One-on-one isn't real basketball. You get what I'm saying? Like I just don't understand when you don't want to kill her. So that whole narrative of we have to say something good about LeBron and this is the best thing that we can say. Black Diesel said the facilitator. When you got a facilitator, guess what you need? If you want to win, guess what you need when you have a facilitator? You need a killer. Because at the end of the day, somebody got to go chop somebody's head off at some point. All your games are not going to be blowout 20-point games. So when it's in the clutch, like, dang, I wish I had a killer. And that's why it's harder to win with LeBron James-led teams, because he has to go find a person with Kobe or Mike's personality and skill set as far as scoring. I had to go find a dominant scorer who can score from anywhere. Right. First and foremost, this guy has to be able to play off the ball, no matter if he's bigger than me or smaller than me. And I'm talking about LeBron James. So, and then he has to be skilled enough to adjust to not having a ball and playing off the ball, but he has to get me 25 points a game. Like whoever the number 2 is for LeBron, you have to get him 25 points a game. You have to be able to catch and shoot. And then when LeBron throws you the ball to be a killer, you have to go out there and just automatically be a killer. And imagine playing in an offense where the number 1 guy got the ball all the time and everything is running through him. But then when he can't get his stuff off, he's, you ain't in rhythm like that. You got to give me 25 non-rhythm points a game. And then when we need you to be the number 1 because the number 1 can't get it done for whatever reason, I should be able to throw you the ball and now you go get it done. You go be Kobe and Mike in the 4th quarter or whatever the case may be. So that's why having Wade was so important. Having Kyrie was so important. Having AD was so important. Having Luka was so important. The crazy thing is his real number 2. Like when you really look at how the greats like Larry Bird, Magic, Mike, Charles Barkley, all the guys that came before LeBron, those guys, they had legit number 2s. They had number 2s that was like legit number 2s. They wasn't somebody that was, there was an ideal number 1 in skill set and mentality. You either had one or the other, or you didn't have, you get what I'm saying? Like the skill set for Mikal was there, but the mentality for him to be a number 1, I don't know if it was that same thing with Scottie. Right. Just things like that. Like these was real number 2s that they had. Right. But even with that being said, what they gave them in production as far as points and rebounds or whatever they did primarily for their team was what LeBron James number 3s was giving him. Like Kevin Love and Chris Bosh was giving LeBron James Scottie Pippen level production, Kevin McHale level production. So Mike and Bird had true legit number 2s as number 2s. LeBron James had true legit number 1s as number 3s and had another number 1 as a number 2. Right. So if his team was built like normal teams, it would have been LeBron and Bosh or LeBron and Kevin Love. Having Kyrie and Wade was so extra and so necessary for his offense because I need a Kobe type microwave scorer that can play in my offense and be a luxury for me to have to just throw the ball to and say, go get a bucket and rely on them for 20 to 25 points a game, and which goes up in production in the playoffs. Because, I mean, getting 40 points a game. I mean, in a finals game for Kyrie was crazy. So that was the type of luxury LeBron had. And then the last part of what he said is LeBron, if Michael Jordan was a killer, and if whoever I want the ball in the hand, the ball in the hands of in the clutch is Mike. But if you want a team to raise their level of play, you go get LeBron. He was like, Jordan wasn't gonna raise the level of play of a team. I'm gonna tell you how retarded that sounds. Like everybody who, like people who go out of their way to try to glaze LeBron where there's no glaze to be had, make themselves look silly. You mean to tell me to activate what LeBron's superpower is, which is what everybody says, oh, he's a floor raiser. Like if you have a bad team, he can raise the level of that team. Okay. So in order to get LeBron James's superpower, which is raising the floor for a bad team, you have to purposely design a bad team. Who the hell wants to do that? You have to purposely design a bad team. So you're telling me in order to get LeBron's superpower, put him on a bad team. And of course, his play style is give me the ball, spread the floor, set a screen for me, and let me drive to the hole, try to get a layup or a dunk, and force you to double team me, and then I can make the pass to a shooter. Right? In order for that to work, you can't just have one shooter on the court. You gotta have you gotta have at least 3 shooters on the floor. Like the guy setting the screen can be a big that can't shoot, that's fine. But everybody that's spreading the floor, that's standing in one spot, they have to be shooters. They have to be K Love, Kyle Korver, J.R. Smith. Those are 3 shooters, or the offense does not work. If I don't have to respect those shooters and they can't knock down the shots, the offense doesn't work. Right? So you got to go find knockdown shooters that I can shoot threes all game long and be accurate with it when the ball comes my way. Right? That's how that offense. So you have to design and if look, for the most part, finding guys that's just shooters is not gonna be your best guys. It's not gonna be your Wades. You know, luckily Kyrie Irving is a really great shooter, but for the most part, you're not gonna find a lot of guys that just knock down Kyle Korver type shooters to put in the offense that's gonna be good enough to start or good enough to make all-star, or you get what I'm saying? Like, so you mean to tell me in order to run that offense, I gotta find lesser players that can just shoot? And that's what you want, and you think that's good. Oh man, he's a floor raiser. First of all, that's a lie that Michael Jordan can't play with a team that's not great and raise it. Just because LeBron was able to get to the finals with a team that some people call bad, that I don't call bad. I mean, I think he had Larry Hughes and Antoine Jameson on that Cavs team, and those are really good players. I would say Antoine Jameson is a great player. I would say Big Z is a great player. Like the myth that Cavs had nothing, like they just had some college rookies, like if they had a team full of rookies, a rookie, some second year players, an old dude that's 1 year from retirement, like if your squad was like that, then I would understand. But you got dudes in their prime that are vets. In Ilgauskas' case, he's made an all-star. The reason why he's not an all-star anymore because he lost a lot of time with those foot surgeries. Like he came in as like a top 2, top 3 pick for the Cavs and was a really good prospect. Like he was on Yao Ming's level when he first came in, but he kept breaking his foot. Like Big Z, every year he would play 2, 3, 5 games, 10 games, and then break his foot. He just kept breaking his foot. And I don't even know if it was the same foot or it was both feet. He just had some feet problems, right? Which is what Yao Ming ended up retiring for those feet problems because he kept breaking his feet. You know what I mean? When you 7 foot, I think Yao was 7'7". I think Big Z was 7'3". When you that tall and you jumping and putting all that weight on your feet, I get it. You know what I mean? Some people just not built like that, but Big Z wasn't no slouch. Larry Hughes is a lottery pick. I don't think he ever raised his level of play to all-star level, but really good player. I mean, he was good enough for Iverson in Philly. Antoine Jameson was good enough for Gilbert Arenas and with the Wizards to be the second best player on that team. Sometimes he looked like the first best player. That was in the playoffs, right? So Gilbert Arenas is not even as good as LeBron, but having Antoine Jameson as his second best player is good enough for him to be a consistent playoff team. But Antoine Jameson is just, once he played with LeBron, he's trash, right? Go figure. He's trash once he played with LeBron, and I just don't understand it, right? So his teams in Cleveland wasn't trash. They were good teams, especially in the East. You can't find me an East team that was better unless we're talking about once Boston got the Boston Big Three, then they became better. And I would say possibly the Detroit Pistons when they were on, their time being a contender. But still there was no superstar on the level of LeBron on none of those contending teams in the East. Well, you could say Boston. I'll say Garnett and Pierce was on that level. On Detroit, I mean, you could argue Rasheed. Rasheed was very, very good. Rasheed was very good. So, I mean, maybe you could say Rasheed was on that level. But if that was the case, he's still not better than LeBron. So we're talking about the best player on each team in the East didn't have a player better than LeBron, unless you want to have that argument about Boston, right? At that time, the way Garnett and Paul Pierce was playing, maybe there's an argument for one of them being equal, better, whatever the case may be, than LeBron at that time, based on their experience. So Boston, one squad. But when you start looking at Gilbert Arenas, Paul George in the East, I think Reggie might have still been in the East. Dwight might have been. So Garnett, Pierce, Dwight, Wade, right? Wade. Maybe Bosh. Was Melo in the East yet? No, Melo was still on the West. So you look at those names: Wade, Pierce, Garnett, Dwight, Bosh. Those guys might have been on his level, but still, they're not considering Bosh better than LeBron. So take his name out of it. Maybe Wade. But nonetheless, the way those teams were structured on the East, minus the Boston Big Three, you look at every other team on the East, they had that one guy, Gilbert Arenas or Bosh, and then name the other guys they had. Right? They didn't have names. Like I think what LeBron fans are looking for when they look at that Cleveland squad is, where are the names at? Where are the memorable names? Where are the perennial all-stars? Where are the Hall of Famers at? Where are those players at? Where are the superstars? Why he don't have superstars on this team? It's like in the East, that was normal. Allen Iverson was getting Philly to the finals. His second best player might have been Mutombo one year. Mutombo, Aaron McKee, George Lynch in his starting lineup. You get what I'm saying? So not to be like a LeBron fan and trash those names like they ain't nothing, but like those teams in the East were built like that. Reggie Miller had Dale Davis, Antonio Davis. Oh, well, I take the Davis boys out because they weren't even scorers. I say Rick Smits. Dale Davis Reggie Miller had Rick Smits. Jalen Rose had finally got good enough. So take your pick. Jalen Rose, Rick Smits. What's the difference between Rick Smits and Big Z? Nothing. Who better, Jalen Rose or Antoine Jameson? Antoine Jameson. Right. So, I mean, it's just not true. He didn't raise the level of some trash team. He didn't. He got to the finals, yes. But do we say that about Iverson? Oh, he's a floor raiser. He took bumps to the finals and then out. So, because what happens is LeBron got to the finals against San Antonio and got at match, and he had a team that didn't have huge names on it. So what they say is he raised the floor. He makes everyone better. He can take any bad team to the finals. And then it's a catch-all. He did that 1 year, right? And then he goes to Miami. He can't get back to the finals now. In Cleveland, couldn't get back to the finals. So this floor raising and taking bad teams to the finals narrative came from 1 year, which is something Iverson did. Got a team very similar to the Cavs, if not worse, to the finals. It's something Reggie Miller did in the East. Got to the finals with them. It's something Sprewell and Allen Houston did in the East with the Knicks. Got them to the finals. It's something that J. Kidd did twice in the East. Got to the finals. Like getting to the finals in the East, okay, cool. You did it one time with a team that you claim is bad, but I can name 4 guys that's not as good as you: Iverson, Allen Houston, Sprewell, Reggie Miller. I can name 4 guys, and Jason Kidd. I can name 5 guys that's not as good as you who did it in the East in a similar time frame. But we're not giving them extra credit for being floor raisers. They can just take any team to the finals. You did it once, and then you ran to Miami because you couldn't continue to do it. You couldn't do it again. And then you went to the finals with, 4 straight years with a super team. Then you left Miami and came back to Cleveland, and you didn't have a team like the first year. You had superstars on your team, and you got the 3 or 4 straight with them. Got the 4 straight with them, I think. So other than that one time, when did he raise the floor for this bad team? And if we are calling it raising the floor for a bad team, what are we saying for Iverson, Reggie Miller, Allen Houston, Sprewell, and J. Kidd? They did the same exact thing. So for Mark Cuban to say, yeah, I give LeBron credit, man. He can take a bad team and raise their floor, but Jordan can't do that. The hell? What you mean Jordan can't do that? And why would you want to do that with a bad team? Super chat from DP Keys, $10 super chat. I appreciate you, brother. Cuban statement makes it worse for LeBron's case because if Bron can raise the level of play for a bad team, how come he couldn't do that to an even greater extent for stacked teams? That's a great point. Like if I had to have a bad team for you to see my superpower, but a great team is my kryptonite, like why would I want that? Like I'm trying to build a good team. If I get this superstar, like if somebody gave me the answers to the test, and for every player that I drafted or signed to my team, it tells me exactly what I need to get the best out of this player. And I look at the daggone card for LeBron James that says, in order for you to see his superpower, you have to have a bad team. Why would I sign up for having a bad team with a superstar? Oh man, he performed best with a bad team. Like if you give him a bad team, man, you really go see what he could do. Don't give him a good squad. If you give him a bad team, you really go see what he could do, man. He can get that team all the way to the second round of the playoffs, and at least once get to the finals. You ain't gonna win, but he can get you there. So I mean, which one you want? Do you want the greatest of all time that's gonna get you 6 rings? You go build something nice, go have a good coach, a good co-star, and the squad gonna be good, or do you want the guy that can raise the floor for a bad team? You're not gonna win, but he'll raise the floor for it. And then after he can't win with that, he runs and go get a super team and again get some rings, and everybody's like, oh man, this is great. So you either have to have a super team to win. You got to have a super team to win with LeBron. But if you want to see some great stats and hence see him raise the floor, give him a bad team. Man, that junk is ridiculous, man. It's freaking ridiculous, y'all. I'm gonna open the phone lines up. Yeah, because that's just silly, man. I want my superstar to have a bad team so everybody can see what he's capable of. That is insane, man. Let's get some phone calls in here, y'all. Let's get one or two. Caller from Washington. What's good, brother?
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Hey, man. What's up with this floor raising stuff?
I don't get it. I mean, it's just really the media. To be fair, I think we all, just from like the eye test, and really, I believe it. Even though LeBron's done some sleazy stuff, like you say, he still is, I believe, one of the greatest basketball players, without a doubt, we've ever seen. But
I agree.
when people put him in the GOAT debate, just all the stuff, the antics when you put in, I just can't like put him there. Especially when people say he raises the floor, he brings bad teams to the playoffs. Just going back off of memory, I know I was younger, but I don't recall when LeBron was playing with the Cavs teams earlier, people saying that those teams were awful teams. Like, I just don't remember that back then when he was bringing them to the finals. He might have said that teams like the Celtics might have been a better team, or maybe the Pistons, but I don't recall them ever saying that there was a bad team. But to go off of when you were saying, like you mentioned, other guys that brought their teams to the finals in the East Coast, the Jason Kidds of the world, the Reggie Millers. Somebody who did that in the modern era is Jimmy Butler. We've seen Jimmy Butler bring a depleted Heat team to the finals 2 times, but we don't ever hear, oh, Jimmy Butler's the best player in the NBA. He's a floor raiser.
Correct.
People barely have Jimmy Butler in the top 10. So I don't get why LeBron gets that treatment, but a player like Jimmy Butler, Allen Iverson doesn't get that. We've seen Hakeem win his first finals without any All-Stars, and we don't have him as the GOAT.
We've never bragged about that, man. We've never seen a person that we claim is a top 10 player be on a team for 4 to 5 years, and we still consider it a bad team. Like we just by that time you should be building something. You get what I'm saying? Like by that time, I mean the Bulls went from bad, and when they're bad, we know they're bad. Like when they're bad, they're barely making the playoffs. When they're bad,
right.
You know, you could see the growing pains. You could see them still trying to figure it out. You know, that's what the Bulls was. Even though Michael Jordan was performing well statistically and by what you saw on the court, you could tell the team was not ready yet, right? But when your team wins 66 games, how can we still have the thought process that it's a bad team? Like by the time your team wins 66 games and can get through the gauntlet we call the playoffs and get to the finals, that's not a bad team at that point. It's just not. It's a good team. You just don't have huge names as supporting cast.
Exactly. And I'm like you. I don't remember Antoine Jameson ever being weak until he got to the Cavs. Like, when was Antoine Jameson ever weak?
Bro, everybody that got to the Cavs turned weak. Well, remember when Ben Wallace was a beast, and then he went to the Cavs and wasn't no more?
Man, you almost forgot he was on the Cavs.
Man, boy.
But it's also like there's just a huge difference between just getting there and winning. We don't ever say, what year was it when was it the Buffalo Bills when they went to the Super Bowl 4 times in a row?
4 times in a row, dog.
Nobody mentions them as being the greatest team or one of the greatest teams of all time in football. So there's a huge difference between getting there and not winning.
Absolutely.
So,
different. Yep.
But yeah,
right, man. I appreciate the call, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Take care, man.
All right, no doubt. Let's get one more call, y'all. Then we'll move on to this next topic. Let's get one more call. Floor raiser. He's a floor raiser. If you want a killer, take Jordan. But if you want, take LeBron. What? These people. I don't get it. Help me, please. Help me, please. All right, let's move to the next topic. So, in light of talking about floor raisers and stone cold killers as basketball players and the GOAT and all that stuff, we'll get into an oldie but goodie. This is Lamar Odom on Club Shay Shay's podcast a long time ago, 2 years ago. I don't know if everybody caught this, and I don't remember if I ever produced a show from this soundbite. And since I couldn't remember, I was like, well, I'm going to have to do it again. We're going to have to talk about it because I ran across this clip again today, and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to discuss that because it sounds like what he's saying sounds exactly like me. It sounds like we either think alike or what we're saying is 100% true because more people can actually see it, or he watched Man Down Sports. Either or. It's one. He probably do all. It's probably all three. Who knows? But they were having a conversation about the Lakers. Because of course, LeBron was there, and Club Shay Shay is LeBron podcast. Well, I ain't gonna say it's a LeBron podcast, but you get what I'm saying. Right, so they're having a conversation about why they're struggling, and Shay is, Shannon Sharpe is trying to blame Westbrook, and Lamar was kind of like explaining to him, like, you can't put that on Westbrook, right? But then he started describing to him like what's wrong with the NBA and how they run offenses, and it's basically what I've been saying for years, right? So listen to how he explains this.
There's nothing fluid about your offense. You're giving the ball to LeBron. And let me tell you how stupid NBA teams are.
Right.
Ready? Ready for this?
I'm ready. This.
They give the ball to their best player.
Right.
Right. They put that player in a pick and roll. That player, most of the time, he handles the ball almost to the shot clock is at the end.
Right.
Then he's passing it to a player that's not as good as him and has to make or take a shot in less as time as he had the ball. So you're getting the ball to your best player. He's dribbling the ball in the pick and roll. He's handling it to half the end of the clock and he's giving it to a player of less caliber,
right,
to make the play at the end of the shot clock.
Right. No.
That's how mostly all NBA offenses are like that.
Yeah, I don't mind that. But you know what? I want to put it in a shooter's hand that's not as good as me, but that can shoot.
But even if it's just a shooter, the shooter's not as good as the player that was handling the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's asinine.
Shannon Sharpe didn't understand it. He didn't get it. He was like, I'm fine with it. The football player, yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah. And then he thought he was smart, but I'm giving it to a shooter that can shoot. Okay. Lamar Odom is trying to let him see the light, right? Let's talk about how offenses were 90s, early 2000s, how I seen it. Like coaches back then, they wanted to play the end with their best player, right? So especially, or the play to end with their best scorer. You get what I'm saying? So if my best player is Michael Jordan and we're running the triangle offense, my best player is not the one that's primarily bringing the ball up the court, because at some point he's got to get the ball and take a shot. He's taking about 25 to 30 of them a game, right? And it would be more if help defense wasn't coming to try to force him to get rid of the ball. So sometimes he's trying to get into taking a shot. Double team comes and now he can make that pass. If the double team never come to Michael Jordan, he might take 50 shots a game. You get what I'm saying? Like, they trying to get the ball out of his hand. That's how good of a scorer he is. But before he gets the ball, he's so good of a scorer, he takes minimal time to get to his shot. So what's really going on with the offense, you would hear Phil say this to Mike and Jordan a lot. Not yet. Don't try to take over this game yet. Because he knows that, they're like a dog on a leash. I got to hold him back a little bit because what he really want to do is go out there and just dominate. Shot every time he get it. I can score from anywhere. So as soon as I get it, it's one dribble pull up, or I'm getting all the way to the rim. Is that easy? But Phil wanted his offense to be ran. He and Tex Winter's triangle offense. I want my offense to be ran because that's getting your teammates more involved and that's making the team more dangerous. Right? So what will end up happening is they will come up and get into a sequence. They will run the triangle. They at least form the triangle on one side of the floor and see what you can get out of that triangle. Right? So the ball will touch multiple hands, reverse sides. You know, they might reform the triangle on this side, you know, if they ain't get the shot on that side. But basically what's going on, we're going through progressions. We're going through the motion. It's almost like a quarterback that drops back and you got 4 receivers going out. And you look at option 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you might have to come back. You get what I'm saying? So I'm looking at all the options, right? But if I just drop back and I never even turn to look at option 3 and 4 on this side, I just look at something going deep, the play that we were trying to scheme over or scheme open. I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at maybe some type of hot route. I don't know. But if I'm not even looking at the other half of the field, I'm making my offense more predictable, and I'm making it easier to guard. Right? So in basketball, you have to go through progressions. We're trying to score. We're trying to get an easy basket. We're trying to get something. We're trying to get something, and we're running our offense. Right? If you don't get anything off that offense, like if Scottie Pippen brings it up and he gets into the triangle and the ball hits the post, and you know we try to get a back door and the back door wasn't there, then we throw it back and then we reverse the court and then we form the triangle on this side, and then we don't get nothing that way. You got 24 seconds in the shot clock. You did all of that. You probably got it down to about 8 seconds. Now at 8 seconds, we didn't get nothing off our triangle offense. We didn't get nothing. We didn't get no easy basket, right? We didn't get anything. Now that's when you be like, all right, but we got the best player in the world. So now he comes and chases the ball in the triangle and he gets the ball in the spot. And as soon as he get it, it's a turnaround jumper, one dribble pull up, or something of that nature in the post. You know what I'm saying? It's just that easy. He's that easy of a scorer that I'm going to let the offense, I'm going to let the 4 other guys see if they can get an easy basket for the first 12 to 15 seconds of the shot clock. And if they can't, then it comes to me and I'm getting a bucket. Right? So the best player and the best scorer is the last person to get into something a lot of times when they want to run that offense. Right? Of course, it gets the time where this player might get hot and they looking for them immediately when they come up across half court. But for the most part, they wanted to run it offense and see if I can get the 4 other guys percolating and getting something easy. Right? Now, what Lamar Odom just explained is that the offense is now just giving the ball to their best player right away. Right? Instead of the lesser players getting 15 seconds to find a shot while running the offense, and then the best player getting the less amount of time, the less amount of space, and the less amount of dribbles to score. That makes sense. I'm giving my best player the hard task. You gotta score with a minimum amount of time, minimum amount of dribble, minimum amount of space. But the offense is running, trying to get easy basket for the lesser players. Right? But they're doing it the opposite way. What Lamar explained is that these teams are giving the ball to their best player immediately. They're spreading the floor. Everyone's standing there except the guy with the ball and the guy that's setting the screen for him. Everyone's just standing at the 3-point line, just waiting for a pass. So the guy with the ball and the guy setting the screen for him, out of the 24 seconds, they're trying to get something going off the screen and roll for the first 12 to 15 seconds. They're using most of the shot clock. They're using most of the moving on the most of the space and moving on the floor because everybody else is a statue standing at the 3-point line to make sure he got maximum amount of space. So the best player has the most space. He's got the most freedom to move. He's got the ball. He's got 75% of the shot clock. And he's the one that's getting the screen to get him an easy path to the rim. So he's getting all the advantages in the offense to get his shots off. And the lesser players, right? I just picture this. The player that's making $40 million a year, that's supposed to be the best scorer and the best player, got the ball, and everything is set up to help him. But the other players that's supposed to be lesser than him, that's on the vet minimum, that's just there to shoot threes and space the floor for him. By the time they get the ball, they can't do nothing else with it. The shot clock almost gone. I'm giving you a grenade, and you have to shoot it. Like, you have to shoot it. So you're giving a harder task to lesser players, and you're giving all the help, space, time, freedom, and everything else to the best player. I don't understand. And Shannon Sharp was like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Right? Do you know what clutch is? Clutch is, man, this basket got to go up, and it got to go in. Right? If clutch is when the clock is about to hit zeros for the game clock, what is it for the shot clock? Like, you're giving the ball to Kyle Korver, and he got to hit score on the buzz, on the shot clock buzz almost every time. While LeBron or Luka or whoever running that, James Harden, Westbrook running that offense, they done had the ball as much as they wanted to have it, trying to get screens set for them to make something happen. But the lesser player get that just don't make no sense, dog. So when I was trying to explain this to people, and I was like, man, who all runs that offense, right? You know, I call it hero ball, because you got one guy that's supposed to be the hero for everyone. I was like, man, who plays hero ball? And I got Jokic there. He's not a point guard per se, so he don't really run it the same way that Luka and LeBron and Westbrook and Harden ran it. But it's close enough. He's a guy that we're relying on for all the passes, and I just hate that. So when you look on that side, Jokic, LeBron, Harden, Westbrook, Luka, and Caitlin Quinn Clark, they all run that offense. And what they all have in common is triple doubles. I mean, Westbrook averaged a triple double 3 or 4 years. For a year, Jokic almost averages a triple double. LeBron is up; he's a 27-7 guy for a career. Harden was a triple double monster, and so is Caitlin Clark and Luka Doncic. Like, they all got triple doubles in common. They all got breaking records in common. Because those triple doubles. Most guys that are that good aren't really trying to play like that. They all got stats in common. They load the stat sheet up. They all get GOAT titles from their fans prematurely, and they ain't no GOATs. They all have some issue playing defense. Every last one of them. Every last one of them. Notice that. Notice everybody who play that style for some reason got a free license not to play defense, and it's okay. It's okay to media, it's okay to their teams, and it's okay to their fans. Like, we're okay with them not playing defense. The turnovers as well, very high, and losing. Right? In fact, you look at the one ring that Jokic got, he went Super Saiyan in the playoffs. I get it. Great job. But outside of a super team, like, I would say LeBron probably didn't have a super team when he won the bubble ring. So I give him one. And then depending on how you feel about Kevin Love, because LeBron was definitely a superstar, Kyrie was a superstar. Kevin Love, if you don't think he's a superstar, then maybe the Cavs wasn't a super team. But I think any team with 3 superstars in their prime is a super team. So if you think Kevin Love is a superstar, then they were a super team. If you don't think he was a superstar, they wasn't. So let's say the Cavs. So the bubble ring is 1, the Cavs is 2. LeBron has 2 rings without a super team. Jokic has 1 ring without a super team. So between all these triple-double stack grabbers, Caitlin Clark, Luka, Westbrook, Harden, Jokic, LeBron, it's 3 rings between them. Kobe got 5 by himself in the triangle. Tim Duncan got 5 by himself. Kareem got 6. Jordan got 6. Magic got 5. You get what I'm saying? So you put all them dudes together, and one guy on the right side got more rings than all of them. And they all played defense except with the exception of maybe Magic. So let that sink in. Everybody who played for triple doubles got more losing attached to them than the guys who play in a real offense, who aren't trying to get all the assists and the points, who aren't padding their stats. They'd rather play defense than get all the assists. Let somebody else get the assists. You get what I'm saying? So, like, imagine that, dog. Look at all them guys on the left side. Winning is not following them. The only reason why LeBron got rings is super teams. Without them super teams, I mean, that look bad. So LeBron is kind of fool's gold to make you think that style works. Because he actually won 2 rings with Miami, which was a super team. He makes you think that works, but it don't really work. It's bad offense at LA. It needs to go. Like it's really bad. It's really bad. Right. So yeah, hero ball is not what it's cut out to be, dog. It's just not. So that's my take on that. Good offense is good offense. And while I was listening to Brian Shaw, who was a Laker who won rings with the Lakers, he played in the triangle offense on the field and Tech Winners. He played with Shaq and Kobe. He's on Byron Scott's podcast. He interviewed a lot of ex-Lakers. So they had this conversation about the triangle and the offense is being ran now too. They felt the same way. Now, I gave you Lamar Odom in the segment before, and he's telling you 2 years ago how bad the offenses are in the NBA. I've told you plenty of times how bad the offense is. That high screen and roll is horrible. That is death. It's not winnable. Like, you got to do too much to win, and if you get lucky like Jokic, you can get one. And Jokic don't even run the high screen roll like Luka and LeBron does. That jump don't work, dog. It worked for stats, and the wins that they get be the hardest wins you ever want to get, dog. You either go blow somebody out that wasn't ready to play that day because y'all was hot and couldn't miss from 3, or you go grind out a Rocky 5 win. You know how hard Rocky's wins look? Like, man, like, dang, that, like, why all his fights are like that? Like, it's so dramatic. And it's a good thing when it's dramatic like that, because you get to see Luka take some 30-foot 3 for the game win and bank it. Oh my God. But man, it'd be so dramatic. I'm like, dog, man, you made this so hard, dude. If y'all ran a real offense, this game wouldn't have been close at all. If they ran a real offense, the game wouldn't even be close. Like, why? If you got the best player in the league, why y'all got so many Rocky 5 wins? Why everything gotta be Rocky 5? Like, man, I remember times when Michael Jordan had the team blowed out, and he on the bench. Rodman done took his shoes off. They over there chilling whole 4th quarter. We out there with Steve Kerr and Judd Butchler and Bill Winnington on the bench. I mean, on the floor. Like, you know, if you got the best player and he in his prime and he done figured out the lead, dog, he's supposed to be sitting down chilling in the 4th quarter. But they play offense so bad and don't play no defense that, man, it don't matter who they playing. It's probably gonna be close unless they get hot. And then when they get hot, we be like, oh my God, this guy's on Michael Jordan's level. He hot, he hit 45. somebody with no name that just got called up from the G League gave him 30 because he ain't playing no defense, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But he gave you 45 and hit the game winning. Like, oh my God, hey man, this dude is better than Dirk. He's on MJ's level. What? Right. So Brian Shaw was talking to them about that, and they asked about if the triangle offense would work. And here's his response.
How difficult is it to do the triangle offense as a player and a coach?
I think it's more difficult as a coach because that Phil had all the coaches that coached in the triangle on his staff.
Mm-hmm.
So when those other coaches broke off, they hired coaches that had no experience. So you can't teach your coaches and the players the triangle.
Yeah.
Right. And so as a player, I don't think it's that difficult. I think that every offense has actions that involve the triangle. I mean, when you were in New Orleans, I remember same side.
Yeah.
I was like,
we were in Princeton.
Right. In Princeton and then triangle cousins, basically, right? A lot of the same things. And so I love it because I think it puts people in place to do whatever their strengths are. And you can tweak it to kind of make it your own.
Mm-hmm.
And the triangle, what's the beauty of it to me is that it's a zone offense that it's an overload, right? But you can run it against man-to-man. You can run it against zone.
Don't matter.
The same side out of bounds plays, you don't have to do anything different. And if a team presses you, you just move the triangle up to the level of the pressure. And so in the 2001 finals where we went 15-1.
Yeah.
We got in such a groove, we didn't ever have to call anything, right? Because it's based on actions that and it's hard to scout. And I say that because if we call 53, which is basically just UCLA to a side pick and roll, and you take away the entry pass to the wing, all these other automatics kick in, right? So now, even though we call 53 and it's supposed to be UCLA to a side pick and roll, they took away the entry pass. Now we lag it to the other side. It turns into something. Now it turns into center opposite.
Yeah.
So a scout can sit up there and say, oh, they call 53 at 7 minutes and 20 seconds of the first quarter, but we actually really ran center opposite. Now they whole scouting report is fucked up because but they don't know
from the strong side to the weak side now. I mean, and they have no idea what the hell's going on.
And that's what I love about it. You know what I mean? And so in today's one of the most boring things for me is everything is pick and roll. Everything is pick and roll. So that involves the two dudes that are in the pick and roll, and then everybody else is standing around. You know, so
B-Shaw, I think you know this as well as I do. When you're running that type of action, when you're running the triangle, or you're running what we call the Princeton offense back in the day, if you got players who have a high basketball IQ, like you said, you ain't got to call shit because the defense dictates what you're going to run.
That's right.
And so if you got players who are smart, man, they figure that shit out in a heartbeat. And again, like you said, if you're going to pressure us, we would just go farther back out because now we're going to open up the court that much more.
You got more room to back cut
exactly.
people.
So now you got set up to backdoor cuts and everything else.
Yeah.
So it made it so much more difficult for teams to guard you because, like you said, you can call one action. We would, like you said, we would say same side. Okay, so you take away that pass to the corner.
Right.
We just swing it back up top. We got a two-man game over here with a double pin down on the weak side. And it's reads. It's all it is reads. Yeah. And I think one of the reasons that they say it won't work today, players are smart enough.
So Byron Scott said one of the reasons why people say it won't work today, and we're talking about the triangle, is because players just aren't smart enough because it's all read and react. You got to know all the counters, right? And not only do you have to know all the counters as the player who's, like if you're Kobe, like all other four guys on the court got to know those as well. Like, it's got to be almost, what do they call that when, ESP, when you can speak to each other like aliens or something like that, I can look at you and we know, it's really eye contact and body language and stuff like that. And because we practice it so much, I get it, but it almost operates like, man, I can hear your thoughts without you even talking. Right. That's how it is. The triangle, like you was all on the same wavelength. And people in the NBA are smart. They watch film, they catch on the tendencies and all that stuff, man. So you would think that teams would be knowing exactly what they're going to do, but this is the problem. You can know the triangle offense enough to know if they call like Byron Scott and Brian Shaw was saying, and even Kobe Bryant said this on the Knuckleheads podcast, when they call center opposites or whatever they go call, you can know that call and be like, oh, I know how they're going to start this offense, but it's multiple counters to all of those sequences based on what the defense is doing, or based on what the defense is trying to take away, or based on what the defense is giving you. So if you're overplaying to deny the ball, it's easy backdoors in that. And then it's counters. It's just so many different things, man. I love watching the triangle offense. And just because you know the play don't mean you're going to know how we're going to counter it. Because we might have watched film on how y'all defend certain actions and sequences and say, well, we expect them to do X, Y, and Z with this, so this is what we're going to do to counter it. And it don't have to be the counter that you might have seen us do a couple of games ago. It's a different counter. So we always got the upper hand when we're running the offense like this. It's very sophisticated. But when everyone's just saying, hey, my best player got the ball, we're going to spread the floor with shooters, we're going to set a screen, and hey, whatever the best player come up with, that's what we go live with. If he go all the way to the hole and try to get a shot, that's it. If we go to the hole and the help come and he passes it to a three-point shooter and they shoot it, that's the shot we're getting all night long. And your best player is dependent on a lesser player to pretty much win the ball game for him. But we go glaze the assist more than the shot maker. And what B. Shaw and what Byron Scott is saying is this trash. We bored. We tired of watching that offense. Imagine watching the NFL and everyone is doing the read option. Even quarterbacks who can't run. Tom Brady, read option. Everyone's doing a read option. No one has that. The variety of what we see in the NFL, you got one team running the West Coast offense. You got one team that's in a shotgun. And they run and shoot. Well, what they used to call run and shoot back in the day, but a spread offense. You got one team that's doing read option. You got one team that who that's run heavy, and then they get everything in the pass based off play action. You got one team that implements the Wildcat. It's so many different variations of offense that you run, and that's the beauty of sports in general. But then when you get to the NBA, and it's all right, we used to have one team like the Wizards running the Princeton offense on the what's the coach name that ran the Princeton over there? Can't remember his name, but they ran the Princeton offense with the Wizards. Of course, the Lakers was running the triangle. Of course, Jerry Sloan in Utah it was all pick and roll with Stockton and Malone. You had whatever Popovich was doing with their motion offense. You had Reggie Miller in Indiana. Everything they ran was based off Reggie Miller, off his action. Basically, kind of like what Steph do with the Warriors. He's running off screens, off ball screens, and most of that stuff came off of Reggie's motion and his gravity. Everybody was doing something different. But now it's everybody's doing high screen roll. Give your best player the ball, spread the floor, and let him make all the passes and the assists or take the shot. And it's just trash. It's trash, man. All right. This is the last time I open the phone lines up, and then I'm headed to call it a night. Phone lines are open. Y'all can give us a call at the number that's scrolling on the bottom of the screen. And let me know what y'all think about this triangle offense, what Lamar Odom said, what Brian Shaw said, based on what we're seeing in the NBA with their offenses. SWAT said we got 131 in the chat, but only 74 likes. Yeah, let's get the likes up to 100 ASAP. Let's get it up to 100. As a matter of fact, if we get the likes up to 100, I'll do another topic right after this. Yeah, and I believe Kerr said he uses concepts. Yeah, Steve Kerr uses triangle concepts as well. I mean, he played under it for he was in the he was involved in the three-peat playing with it, so he learned a lot from Phil, and then he went and studied under Popovich as well. So he's probably got the best of both worlds there. Fancy, shout out to Fancy. Yeah, I promise I heard every word from your amazing takes. I appreciate you for tuning in for sure. I don't think we're gonna get no phone calls tonight. Tex Winters didn't create the triangle offense. He just adapted it and made adjustments. He got it from some coaching at USC. Good. That's good to know. Let's see where we at with the likes. See where we at the likes. Let's get the likes up to 100. Get it up to 100. Let's see where we at.
Staff failed to protect.
We're at 83, y'all. Let's get the likes up to 100 really quick, man. I would love to do another quick topic. I got one prepared, but if not, then I just run through it tomorrow. Yeah, we might not be able to get to 100, man. Y'all be cheating me on the likes, yeah. Y'all really be cheating me on the likes. Yeah, we're still at 83. All right, y'all. I appreciate it, man. Thank y'all for tuning in, so late and so short notice, man. I will probably try to see y'all again. What's today? Today is Monday night. Tomorrow will be Tuesday. I probably won't go. I'll probably go again on Thursday. Right. So I see y'all again on Thursday, and then full panel on Friday. And then on Sunday morning, we're watching football. But before the football starts, we're gonna be live Sunday, and we're gonna be live every Sunday before football for the rest of the season, man. So y'all check it out, man. NFL content. We're still gonna be covering NBA as well, but it's separate shows. And then I'll see y'all on Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, man. So appreciate y'all for joining, man. Thank y'all. Peace.